Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my breakdown and review of Black Clover, chapter 358, titled Cremation. We have another really exciting chapter on our hands here, and if anyone's curious, I'll also be giving my thoughts on the rest of Jump after I cover Black Clover. This chapter opens where we left off with Mario Leona fighting Maurice. She did lose her arm last chapter, and this chapter she activates Hellfire Incarnate and creates a new left arm out of fire, punching Maurice's tentacle arms. We next learn about Maurice's new ability called Operation. This ability allows him to decompose everything that he touches with his body. Now, I would imagine this includes his feet as well, so that would explain why he's been floating this entire time, because presumably if he falls to the ground or even touches the ground, he would destroy everything in the immediate area. This leads me to believe that Mario Leona is thinking ahead with what she says at the end of the chapter, and we learn this does turn into a battle of stamina, as Mario Leona can destroy Maurice's tentacle arms, but they are regenerating faster than she can destroy them. However, Fuegoleon mentions towards the end of the chapter that Maurice isn't capable of infinite regeneration and that he has a limit too. One of the Crimson Lion members brings up that only Mario Leona's flames can fight Maurice. So, where is Fuegoleon? Fuegoleon and Salamander are fighting off multiple angels in order to protect the citizens of the Clover Kingdom. He does appear to actually be killing the angels, and I just really hope that this isn't what he's relegated to for the entirety of the final arc, and that he does get a bigger moment later on, even if it's not with Mario Leona or Leo. We move back to Mario Leona versus Maurice, and she's not looking too good. She's bleeding from where her left arm was, as well as there's a lot of blood covering her knuckles. So it does appear that even though she's destroying Maurice's arms, she's still taking a fair amount of damage. Just as Maurice is going to land a blow with two of his tentacle arms, we see two of the Crimson Lion Magic Knights jump in to protect her. They take the blow for her and are decomposed. As they're being decomposed, they say that they are leaving the rest to her, and then she reduces what's left of their bodies to ashes before it can completely decompose. This, to me, is a sign of compassion from Mario Leona. She then yells at the rest of the Crimson Lion Knights, and the brigade all jump forward in order to be shields for her. And this actually kind of turns out to be a sad scene, as when she's rushing forward, we see a severed hand fly past her face. Fuegoleon mentions that Maurice has a limit too, and we actually see part of Maurice's arm begin to decompose. Mario Leona rushes forward, shouting this amazing quote, "Silence, you puppet. The fierce Crimson Lion Knights would never submit to such nonsense. These are the flames they've built up, and as a tribute to my dead brigade members, I will make sure nothing will remain once I've burnt you to death." We then see that her leg and another part of her body that I can't quite make out are really starting to suffer from this decomposing that Maurice is causing. She lunges towards Maurice with this demonic looking face, and I do believe we're getting a new ability here called Calidus Brachium Purgatory Cremation. This final page looks great, and I really like the shading on it, and especially how Mario Leona looks. Now, what I mentioned earlier about Maurice touching the ground, if Mario Leona cremates him, then that wouldn't be a problem anymore. Now, I also, unfortunately, have to say that Black Clover is going on a long break. It will resume in Jump issue 25 on May 22nd, so that's about a 1 month break. I, however, am not really complaining, as Tabata's health does come before the story. Now, what are my thoughts on this week's chapter? Well, I loved it. I love Mario Leona, and I love that this chapter has a lot of focus on her. Although I do think that Maurice is a rather weak written antagonist, but I am really enjoying this battle. I did quite like the brigade members stepping up to sacrifice themselves for her, and I really don't want Mario Leona to die, but she really isn't looking too good towards the end of the chapter. I had a really good time with this one, and I've been having a really great time with the final arc as a whole. Now, to give my thoughts on some of the rest of Jump this week, specifically Chainsaw Man, One Punch Man, One Piece, My Hero Academia, and Jujutsu Kaisen. Start us off, Jump was unbelievably solid across the board. Every single series, including Black Clover, in my opinion, had a fantastic chapter. Chainsaw Man had Asa falling into darkness, then Denji saving her and giving us a very real emotional speech about life and why we should keep living. He also does restate his goal at the end of the chapter, which turned out to be pretty funny. One Punch Man sets up a lot of the underground schemes of the Hero Association, as well as laying the groundwork for the next major arc that's going to come after the Monster Association arc. So that's really exciting. One Piece featured Aokiji and his backstory with Blackbeard, as well as his feelings towards the world government. Then we get Aokiji versus Garp, followed by the conclusion to the Heart Pirates versus Blackbeard, where we see Beppo go Sulong to save Law, and the Heart and Kid Pirates are both completely annihilated by the Yonko. As far as Aokiji, I thought he was working undercover in cahoots with Akainu, but I do feel like his feelings in this chapter could be genuine, and there's a chance he's not actually working with the world government anymore. Now, My Hero Academia does give us the setup for Toya dying, which I am really happy about, because Toya is my favorite character, but his character really went downhill after the first war, and specifically a few chapters after he revealed that he was Toya. I honestly think that this is the best thing for him, because we also got that super disappointing backstory in his fight with Shoto. All Might also gives a hero speech to Shoto and Ida, which is really cool, and Stain recognizes the two of them as real heroes. Then we also get the setup for All Might versus All for One Round 3. Now, I personally, towards the start of this second war, was very back and forth on whether I wanted All Might to get his powers back. Personally, I think I've ultimately come to the conclusion that it works better without him getting his powers back, as that sort of preserves the moment in Season 3 in Camino. So I do hope that during this fight, we get flashbacks to the original All for One versus All Might fight when they were both in their prime. I don't know how likely that is, but I'm really hoping for it. And I do hope that All Might dies. I think that this battle has the potential to be a really good send-off for him. Now, also, in Jujutsu Kaisen, we have the Return of Gojo. Now, I am not current with Jujutsu Kaisen. I dropped the series during the Yuji recruiting Hikari segment. I just wasn't really enjoying the series all that much. But I said I'd pick it back up once either the culling games were over or Gojo got released from the prison realm. Now, I haven't heard the best of things about the culling game, so I'm not sure how much I'm going to like it, but I will make a video on my thoughts about it once I catch up. If anyone is interested, I do have 5 more videos scripted, and I'll probably film those next week or the week after. Depends how busy I am. I'm currently pretty busy. And that is going to be all from me today. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.